I'm just gonna be honest with you. I really dropped the ball in August. How is it the end of August? How are we about to prep for September? September, to me, sounds like the end of the year. If it's September, it may as well be December. It may as well be 2026. I don't know how we've gotten here, but here we are. We are about to prep for September. I'm excited. I feel like I could definitely use some time to get my life together. If you guys are new here, hi, my name is Beth. I overshare in all of my vlogs and love to go to concerts. I recently just got back from Lollapalooza, and I think that's why it doesn't feel like it should be the end of the month. And to be so honest, it is only August 20. I'm having to film this early because I am going to Europe next week. I'm so excited. I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful. But something I'm doing this year is challenging myself to film a monthly reset every single month. So I was like, you know what? Today's the day. We've got to film this thing. All right, first thing we're gonna do is a big deep clean of this apartment. Also guys, look at this little plushie in the corner. I won it on a claw machine. I thought claw machines were scams, but this year I've won two things. I won a Stitch and I've won this. So I don't know what's happened. Maybe I'm just talented. Anyway, let's start with a big deep clean of this apartment. If you've watched my resets before, you will know that I can't focus and I feel like I can't do any other part of the reset until I've deep cleaned. I'm also really happy to be doing this right now because I feel like I'm deep cleaning the apartment before Europe. Like I'm doing the pre-prep clean. I'm sure you guys know what I mean. When I was younger, my mum would always make sure the house was clean before we went anywhere, and I was always like, that is so dramatic, like who cares? No, I get it. I truly understand. So I feel like that's kind of what we're doing now. Today is Wednesday and we're flying out on Monday. So I'm thinking if we do a massive deep clean now, we clean the bedroom, the lounge room, my work area, the kitchen, the bathroom, I can just like touch it up on Monday before we go. This kind of works out perfectly. And in a way, it's gonna be reset for September and October and November because I am gonna be away for a while. I'm sweating so bad. Also, I'm sorry if you can hear the dryer. That's obviously not helping with how hot I am right now. But I just finished the lounge room and now I'm gonna move on to the kitchen. Honestly, the kitchen's really not that bad. So I'm gonna try and smash this out as fast as possible. I reckon I can do this in 20 minutes.
want to know something? Well, I'm sure you do. That's probably why you're watching this. You want to know something? I still have my coffee. And look how full it is. Can you see? I'm scared I'm gonna spill it. I just had to reheat it. Look, I am who I am. It takes me so long to drink a drink. I wonder why the caffeine doesn't work sometimes. Maybe it's because it takes me like 4 hours to drink it. But it's fine. It's kind of nice to have this now as we do more of the admin side of the reset. First up, we're gonna do a little digital decluttering. This is where I go through my MacBook. I clean up my desktop, my downloads folder. Because I work on my Mac for honestly like 90% of my job, sometimes it can get messy and unorganized, and I really love having an organized MacBook. So we're gonna clean that up, move any files I need to move to my hard drive, and then I'm gonna do the same thing on my phone. On my phone, I like to go through my texts, delete any texts I don't need anymore, any apps I don't need, clean up my home screen if I've downloaded any apps and they're still just like sitting there. And then I've also been dedicating a little bit of time to going through my photos because I have like 50,000 photos on my phone, which just feels a little bit crazy. And then I'm also going to do a social media declutter as well. This is where I go through my social media platforms and I unfollow anybody that I don't want to follow anymore. I've said this, I think, almost in every single reset, but I think it's important with social media to control what you consume to the best of your ability. Obviously, you can't stop the explore page and the for you page, but you can control who you're following and who shows up in your following feeds. And I've said this so many times, but I will unfollow people that I like but don't have a positive effect on me on social media, and maybe that's due to my own jealousy issues or insecurities, whatever it is. I just think I'm not gonna let anybody piss me off on my own phone, you know? Next up, let's do a little end of month reflection. I'm kind of nervous to do this because I'm not gonna lie, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I really dropped the ball in August in terms of healthy habits, achieving my goals, all of that kind of stuff. Basically, I was in Chicago at the start of the month. Then I flew back to Melbourne and I was like, okay, I have basically 2.5 weeks until I go to Europe. I'm gonna kind of get my life together, get back into my routine and my habits. And I don't know, it just hasn't really worked out that way. I haven't had a bad month, but I did have a little bit of a depressive episode last week that has slowed me down. So, you know when you have to write about something that you just like don't want to write about, but you know it's gonna be like good for you or whatever? That's how I feel right now. But basically, also I'm just looking down at my laptop. I promise I'm not just like zoning out. But basically on my Notion, also I have a template of my Notion that I will link below for you guys. Basically, I downloaded a template and then I edited it to become this, which is what you could do as well. If you're interested in this template, you can download it and then edit it. But in my Notion on my goals page, which we'll take a better look at in a little bit, I have a section where I can do a little end of month review, end of month reflection. So as you can see, there are 4 categories that I split this into. Liked, what did I enjoy most this month? Learned, what did I learn this month? Lacked, what could I have done better this month? And longed for, what do I wish existed or was possible to make this month run smoother? And then I just have to jot 5 things under each section. I really like this because I don't feel like I have to write a full essay. I don't have to get too deep or too in depth, but I can if I want. And it's just really easy, it's simple, it's nice to look back at, and I like to do this first before I go into my goals so that I can use this when it comes to setting my goals for the next month. So I'm gonna do it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and do my end of month reflection. The end of month reflection is done, I can move on to doing my goals. Also, it wasn't that bad. It never is. It never is. I always just build things up in my head and then they're never actually that bad. So this is your sign to just do the thing that you're putting off, send the message, write the message, do the journal entry, whatever it is, because it's probably not going to be that bad. And if it is, at least it will be done. At least you'll be able to tick that off. But let's move into goal setting. I'm going to show you my Notion page. If you've watched my monthly resets before, I'm sorry. I know you've seen this a million times, but just in case you're new here, this is my 2025 goals page in my Notion. As you can see at the top left, I have my word for the year, which is thrive, and a little definition, just because I think it's aesthetically pleasing. And then I have it split up into my yearly goals, my monthly goals, and my weekly goals. And then I split my goals into 6 sections: work, physical, financial, mental, hobbies, and personal. And I create 2 goals under each. And how it works is that my weekly goals help me achieve my monthly goals, and my monthly goals help me achieve achieve my yearly goals. In theory, we've discussed this before. So let's take a look at my August goals and go through and see how I did. Okay, so here are my August goals. As you can see, I have all of my goals down here. I have the status section where I can mark the goal as not started, in progress, done, or next year. And then to the right, I have the type of the goal, which is one of those 6 sections that I mentioned before. Oh, and I didn't mention, but underneath here is where I have that end of month review. So that's where we were before, and this is where we are now. So what we're gonna do is go through, we're gonna tick them off together, and we're just not going to worry about it. We're just not gonna put pressure on ourselves. Look, if we achieve nothing, we achieve nothing, and it's fine. We're gonna move on. We're gonna live, laugh, love, and learn. Okay, figure out your YouTube schedule. Done. Keep on top of client work. Done. Okay, off to a good start. 10K steps a day? No. Guys, I had a really bad addiction with doing 10K steps, and it was getting really, really unhealthy, like severely unhealthy. I don't want to get in depth, but I decided this month that I was going to break that habit. Originally, I was like, I'll fix it in 2026. I'm dealing with enough. And then it got to the point where I was like, I need to fix this. So I'm actually glad I didn't achieve that goal. Even though, because it was such an addiction and an unhealthy habit to me, well, like healthy and unhealthy, you know, it like annoys me that I can't do it anymore. It's definitely for the best. Figure out your supplement plan. Done. Follow budget. Done. This is actually a lot better than I thought. A lot better than I thought. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't do weekly goals this month. I did nothing. I just tried my best. Set up new credit card system. Done. Make list. Done. Okay, maybe this is where we start to, you know, fall off a little bit. Log 4 social media free days. Not started. Not started. Zilch. Nada. I've done. I don't know what happened. I was really good at the start of the year with this, and now I'm just, yeah, I haven't been doing it. To be fair though, when I was away, I was trying really, really hard to post my Lola short form content in real time. I wanted to get it out there. I wanted to share it with you guys. So yeah, it's not really a good enough excuse though, is it? Because Lola was like 1 weekend. You know what I'm gonna do? Because I told you guys it is August 20th. I still have 10 days of this month. I just had to film this early. I'm gonna mark it as in progress. Don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. I'm going to force myself to do one this week. Also, I could probably just do it on the day that I'm on the plane because I'm gonna be off the grid anyway. Log 2 books and read. In progress. Will I finish my next book in 10 days? Wait, am I still on my first book? I need to double check my Goodreads, but it's definitely not done and it's not started. So we're just gonna leave it in progress. I do think that's gonna be a goal I'm gonna really achieve while we're away. I forgot about this. I was like, oh, I need to get started on this learning piano goal. I'll make like a list of classes. No, not started. I do think I want to do that over the summer though. I like the idea of having a summer class, and that class could be learning piano. I don't know. Organize birthday outfits. In progress. I was originally going to get my birthday dress before we went to Paris, but now I'm thinking maybe I could get the dress in London and I could have a little shopping day with Harriet. In progress. And buy hair filter for you. Oh, I actually completely forgot about this. Oh no, my hairdresser sent me a hair filter. If any of you guys are from the UK or Europe and you're watching this, let me know what you think, but apparently the water is really harsh over there. Maybe it's just different from Australian water, I don't know. But my hairdresser was like, you should get one of those shower head filters so that the water doesn't damage my hair, because when I went to New York, my hair was so damaged. Oh, I don't know if it's gonna come in time. Okay, I'm literally putting it on my to-do list right now because I need to look into this today. Oof. Whoopsie. This is why you always should keep up with your goals, and you should have weekly goals and blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Okay, well, in progress then, because I'm pushing my luck. Okay, let's see. How did we go? 6 out of 12, 50%. You know what? Not bad. Considering I went in with the mindset that we were gonna be 0%, I'm happy with that. Okay guys, this is where we need to go ahead and set my September goals. This is gonna be a little bit different this month, and I haven't really figured out exactly how I'm going to do it because like I mentioned, I am going to Europe and the UK. Basically, my trip is 3 weeks of traveling around Europe and then 5 weeks in London and then 1 week in Paris. So I'm gone for basically 2 months. So I don't really want to be focusing too hard on achieving my goals, particularly in the first 3 weeks, because it is meant to be like a vacation, you know? So I think what I'm going to do now is just take a look at my yearly goals, take a look at where I'm at, have a look at that end of month reflection, and just kind of go through and set myself some goals, but not necessarily in every single section. Usually what I do is with those 6 sections that I have, work, physical, financial, mental, hobbies, and personal, I make 2 goals per month that not match but align with the yearly goals under that category. So essentially the monthly goals are helping achieve the yearly goal, if that makes sense. But I don't necessarily think I want to do that for September. I don't know. I need to spend a little bit of time on this, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. Okay, goals are set. I'm really happy that I spent the time figuring that out. And I think I set myself some pretty good goals to achieve in September without overloading myself and making myself like basically work while I'm on vacation, if that makes sense. Anyway, next thing we need to do is we need to tick off this end of month admin list. Basically at the end of each month or the start of each month, I like to go through and do every single thing on this list. I think the only thing that I'm not gonna do today, because it is only the 20th of August, is change our toothbrush heads, because I want to do that when we leave for our trip. But everything else I think I'm gonna do. Anyway, let's go ahead and work through this list. Time for the potentially least exciting part of this monthly reset, and that is where I go ahead and update my tax document. So fun, riveting, exciting, never been done before, amazing, spectacular. Yeah, this is definitely the least exciting part of the monthly reset, but basically because I am self-employed, I have to pay my own taxes and I like to keep up to date with that. So basically I have a spreadsheet on Excel where I track all of my earnings from both freelance editing and also social media. And then I also track my expenses for both of those things as well. I track what it is, the amount, any fees, how much tax I've put away, and I also like to file the receipt or invoice as well. And lastly, I like to cross-check it with my bank just to make sure that I have got everything on there. I haven't missed any transactions. Also, Cal and I have an Excel spreadsheet where we keep track of our rent, all of our bills, so like electricity, hot water, all of that kind of stuff. And I also have a section in there where I have our monthly budget. So I want to make sure that's all up to date. I have all of the receipts and invoices and all of that kind of stuff done. I find this is so helpful because I can keep on top of my finances. I can see where my money's going, how much I'm earning, and just how I'm doing month to month. And if I need to change mine and Kel's budgets, I can do that. I don't have to wait until the end of the year or the end of the financial year. I can do it every month. I feel like this is a really good system. So I'm gonna go ahead and update both of these documents for August. Tax document is done. I feel like I truly have my shit together. I always do after I do this. I feel like a little, I don't know. I actually don't know what I was going with that. But now I need to update my calendar. I say this every reset, but I would be so lost without my Apple calendar. I promise my laptop is here. Also, look at my sticker I got. It says, I love Harry Styles. I am who I am. I'm just a girl. But yeah, I would literally be lost without my Apple calendar. Basically what I do is I split it into 6 calendars. I have life, YouTube socials, gym, and then my 3 freelance clients. And the best thing about this is that you can untick and tick calendars when you want to see what's on them. So if I just want to see what workouts I have booked in, I can just have my gym calendar ticked. If I just want to see what work I have to do for Cal's company, which is INEG, I can just have that calendar ticked. I find it really helpful to have those sections of my life split up. That way I can really differentiate them, because when the calendar is just one color and everything's under one, I feel like it can be very overwhelming and it's just really hard to see what you actually have going on. So I highly recommend, if you use a digital calendar, to split it into different calendars, have different colors. Even if you have a physical calendar, you could do little like different colors or something. But what I like to do at the end of the month is take a look at the next upcoming month and just do a big bulk fill of everything that I have going on for the month. I do update my calendar as I go. If I book in an appointment or I schedule dinner with a friend or something, I pop it in my calendar. So for the most part, it is kind of always up to to date, but I do just love to do a big bulk fill and just kind of get my head around how the month is gonna look. September is obviously gonna look different because I am going to be overseas the whole time, but I think this is a good opportunity to really put in my travel itinerary and plan into my calendar, because right now it's just sitting in my Notion, which is completely fine, but I think it will be good to have it in my calendar as well. So let's update this. Now that my calendar is updated, we can go ahead and update my Notion as well. Like I said at the start of this video, I do have a template for my Notion, so if you are interested, you can download it below. But this is my home screen for my Notion. It's called Basecamp. And as you can see to the far right, I have this section called Weekly Schedule. And this is where I just kind of break down the main things that I have on for every day of the week. And I get all of these things from my calendar, which is why I fill out my calendar first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the main things that I have for the next upcoming week into that weekly schedule. I find it really good to just be able to open my Notion and just see a brief overview of my week to the side. Then above the weekly schedule, I have this section called To-Do List, and this is where I'll expand on every single day that I have in the weekly schedule as they come up. That to-do list, I go in depth with all the little things that I need to get done. The weekly schedule just has the main things on. So I'm going to update my weekly schedule, and then I'm also going to update my YouTube planner. This is where I plan out literally all of my YouTube videos, and I keep track of the status of the video, whether it's just an idea, if I'm filming it, planning it, editing it, if it's already uploaded and it's just waiting to be posted, my film dates, my self-assigned due dates, and my post dates. So let's go ahead and update all of those now. Let me share with you guys some of my favorites from August. I don't really have a lot of new things to show you. I think my favorite things from August were honestly experiences. Going to Lollapalooza, having so much quality time with Cal, hanging out with my friends. I honestly just really enjoyed experiences this month, but I do have a couple of physical things to show you as well. Also, if I've shown you these things in another monthly reset as a favorite, it just means that I'm still loving it. First up, we have potentially my album of the year. Actually, comment down below what you think it is. It's an album that came out this year and it has taken over my life. And no, it's not Taylor Swift, even though I know it hasn't come out yet. That probably will be my album of the year. But currently, it is, drum roll please. I only have one hand, so like, ta-da! This album, guys, I can't even explain how good this album is. I am so obsessed. It's The Crux by Joe. If you haven't listened to this, you need to. It is phenomenal. Joe was at Lollapalooza and I was so fucking happy about it because I got to hear a lot of this album live and it was so good live as well. So this has been one of my favorites in August. I literally went out and bought the vinyl. I was like, we need this. We need this. We have literally been listening to this every single morning. Something else that I've loved for a couple of months, but I don't think I've shared with you guys, is this mask from Skin Control. This is their Glass Skin Hyaluronic Acid mask. I've only ever used this on the plane, but I used it on the way to Coachella and also on the way, I think, back from Lollapalooza. Yeah, guys, look at this photo. This was literally me on the plane. But I find this is so good. I put it on the plane. When I take it off after a few hours, my skin doesn't feel so dry and gross. It feels moisturized, it feels soft. So I've stocked up. I've bought 4 of them for Europe. I'm very excited. I think they're like maybe $10 or $15, but I love them so much. And I always feel so bougie in my little economy seat with a face mask on. Oh my gosh, guys, I did not expect to like this as much as I do. I got it in PR. This is the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion. I guess it's a mix of glow and lotion. Dude, this stuff is incredible. I'm wearing it right now. I don't think the lighting in here is really gonna do it justice, but I find that typically I have to use a pretty heavy foundation to cover what I want to cover, or just to really get that good base. But this gives so much coverage, but also leaves that really glowy look. Whereas usually I feel like with a product that has a lot of glow, it won't have any coverage. I'm sure you guys know what I mean. This is so good. This color is a little bit too dark for me, so I've been mixing it with the MCO Beauty glow product that I have. So I definitely need to go and actually buy my color because I really want gonna probably just wear this in Europe. It's so good. Let me know if any of you guys have used this before. This is in the shade Medium Glow 903. Like I said, I just got it sent in PR, so I didn't choose my color or anything, but it's so good. Another makeup product that I love, and I'm sure you've heard of it, and I've probably spoken about it before, but it's the One Size Setting Spray. This stuff is so good, especially these two together, because when I wear this, my skin feels wet, right? Because it's glowy, but I feel like when I put this on top of it, it helps keep the glow, but have it sink into my face and not transfer as easy. So I really love this. I will say it's very matte. I think it kind of like has to be to work. So I have mixed this with the NYX Dewy Setting Spray when I have been wearing just my other foundation. That way it doesn't look so matte and dry. But highly recommend. I know so many people talk about this and how good it is. I'm here to say it actually is. And then lastly, I honestly just wanted to show you guys. I love Aquaphor, okay? And you can't get it in Australia. I don't know why. I don't know why. So I came back from the US with not one, not two, not three, and also not six, I think 8 little tubs of Aquaphor. The other two, one's in my bedroom and one's in my handbag. I love this shit. I love it. You can't buy it here, and it worked out to be cheaper to buy it in America than to buy some when I'm in London, because they sell it in London with like the conversion from AUD to pounds and USD. I figured it out. I figured it out because I've never relaxed a day in my life. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anyway, those are my August favorites. Let me know down below what your favorites for the month have been, whether it's an experience, something you've done, or a product. I'm very interested. I want to know. Guys, we have officially reset for September. We are done. I am so happy. I feel like now I can really switch my mind into prepping for the trip. I know parts of this has been prepping for the trip, but I can really switch over to prep mode. You know what I mean? My next video will be my prep pack and travel vlog for Europe. So if you've watched this far and you haven't subscribed, you should definitely subscribe because we're basically best friends at this point. And I'm gonna be vlogging most of my trip. Some days I definitely wanna hibernate and rot and I guess do that social media free day that I haven't done in a long time. But for the most part, I definitely want to share my trip with you guys. I'll be posting on YouTube Shorts, Instagram, TikTok. So make sure you're following me on all those platforms if you wanna keep up. I also made a spam Instagram account. I'm so excited for this. I made one of these for the US and I honestly just have the best time over there. So make sure you're following that as well. Also, if you've watched this far, comment down below. What should you guys comment? The calendar emoji and the plane emoji. Yeah, comment one of those two or both of those two. Anyway, I love you guys so much and I will see you in my next video. Bye!